Welcome back. It's been a year. Actually just opening up my old files and setting up for this episode. I saw the last time I recorded was September 9th, 2021. Today is September 6th, 2022. So, safe to say it's been about a year. I put out that last episode briefly, and then I'm pretty sure I took it down in most places. If you can still find it, well, lucky you. I think it was a pretty good episode. The only thing I didn't like about it was I touched a lot on DaBaby and Eric Clapton and some controversial things they said, and I just would rather not have any of my voice about that. Putting it simply, it's hot. It's tricky waters to navigate, and I think at my current state, it's best to just avoid it. Avoid controversy. I'm not here to start controversy. I'm not here to. I'll discuss it. I won't lie to you. I'll discuss it. But if it starts, getting a little too crazy, take it down. Anyways, it's been a year. We're back. I don't know shit about music. 2022. This is episode 13, technically. Yeah, it's been a year, and a lot has changed since September of 2021. So, or I guess August. I don't even know when the last episode before that was, because I think it had been a few weeks. But regardless, since then, things have changed. The Wasp is dead. The Wasp is no longer a thing. No longer a band. The music's still on Spotify. The YouTube channel's still up. But other than that, the Wasp is dead. I think it was time I had the Wasp moniker. Since about 2018 was when I started working under it, recording, writing, anything. And those early recordings, whew, wow. That's all I gotta say, wow. I mean, I was young. How old was I in 2018? 22? A fresh 22. And I'll be turning 26 this year. Jesus Christ. 26 this month. No longer on insurance at that point. Just kind of free balling life, raw dogging it. But hopefully I can get that sorted out and be uninsured very briefly. And not too long, and hopefully I don't decide to die during those few days. But I digress. The Wasp is dead. The Wasp Mortis Est. And I think it was time. I think it was good. It was a happy decision I made. So I guess kind of the end of it was there were four of us. We kept playing shows, through January, February, a little bit of March 2021, and then I kept booking us gigs. We got another gig in April of that year called Doge Fest. That was a good time. I'm sure I talked about all this, but that was the last full band gig we played. Doge Fest, April 21. After that, our bassist started to get a little flaky. You've heard it a million times. There's always the one. And our drummer at the same time told us he will be moving away and joining a circus. I don't know. People do crazy shit, and a year later he's doing fantastic in the circus, it appears. So I wish the drummer nothing but the best. Our bassist, cool guy, just a little bit of a flake, and wish he was just a little more up front. But yeah, that kind of sort of fizzled. We had our organist play bass for a gig or two, and we played one gig with three of us, the drummer, organist on bass, and me on vocals and guitar. It was an acoustic show. And then after that, it was just me and the organist, and he was on bass, I was on acoustic guitar, and we played a festival called Fringe Fest. I saved the files as Cringe Fest. It just wasn't a good show. We played for like a single person, and it was end of May, middle of the day, hot as fuck. So, what can you do? That was the last set I played under the Wasp. Now, fast forward. Let's see. So that was May 21. Jesus. I didn't do anything publicly for almost a year, I'd say. In about September-ish, I believe, I got in contact with these two guys in a band. Saw a flyer at Guitar Center. That's the way it goes. They were looking for a guitarist. That's all I kind of wanted to do after the Wasp. Left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth, being the guy who does everything. I mean, there's always got to be one, and I respect him. But I was exhausted, to say the least. I was working. I have a girlfriend, and I just don't think it was smart of me to take something like that on. Something like what I did with the Wasp when I wasn't working as much, when I was single and all that. So I reevaluated and I joined these guys, and it was a good time. Their flyer said looking for a guitarist with influences of Pixies and Weezer. And for those who don't know, I've seen both of those bands 3 or 4 times live. And I've met the Pixies once or twice, but that's neither here nor there. I'm sure a lot of people have met the Pixies. But I was like, perfect. I'll join these guys and we'll see where this goes and everything. I can have kind of a more minor role, just play some chords, play some cool stuff and move on. And they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool guys. I wish them the best. But it didn't work out, These things just don't work out. I was too busy. I didn't like kind of like the direction we were going, but I don't think they fucked with the way I was playing, and therefore it caused a little bit of a riff, and I didn't like the way they were playing half the time. So it was just like, maybe it's best if we split here. And we did. And that was in March of this year. And during that time, before we split, we did 2 open mics, and both those open mics I did solo performances, and those were the first times since May of 21 that I was performing publicly, and I was performing alone. So that was all new for me. I've never performed alone before, in that sense. I guess I did an open mic years ago. That was probably 2018, that I did an open mic alone in Ohio. I think I played maybe 1 or 2 garbage originals. It was 10 covers because no one else was at this open mic. And if it wasn't my guitar, it was just, I don't count it, I was drunk. It is what it is. But I digress. And here we are in 2022, in September of 2022. And I'm working on something new. I'm working on something big. Something, it's almost sort of a passion project, I guess you could say. It's the culmination of my times with the Wasp, in the Wasp, being the Wasp, all that stuff. My times with the Newport Harbor Drive Karmics era, which I'm sure I've talked about, and a little bit of my time in that previous band, and kind of culminating all that together, culminating everything I've written, everything that has been released, all my thoughts on these things, and I'm just gonna execute it. I'm just gonna do it. And I'm not gonna fiddle around. So now I've been jamming with this guy who Rob, the organist of the Wasp, introduced me to. His name's Zach. Really good guitarist. Just plays excellently. And the route I've been taking has been sort of I've heard people call it roots, because I just called it simple. I was like, I'm just no longer writing complicated things. I'm just keeping things simple. And they're like, oh, you're just going back to the roots. And I was like, yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's a much better way to put it than the way I said it. So I'm going to tell people I'm doing a roots rock thing, but with influences sort of all over the place. But right now, a lot of it is Buck Owens, Waylon Jennings, Ernest Tubb, that sort of thing. And then also influenced with my other appreciation for, rock bands and folk music and everything. So I just think it'll be I'm liking it. I don't think it'll be very interesting. I find it interesting. I find the sound interesting, and I find what Zach and I are creating to be interesting. So we've been jamming on acoustic guitars a lot recently, past couple weeks, just getting my songs together. Now, once we get everything set, we would have an easy set list of seven songs easily. And that's great. That's a full set. That's more than a full set sometimes. So I'm happy about that. I think I'm going to try to practice again tomorrow with him. It's been a week or two because of Labor Day and everything. We're going to try to squeeze in a practice tomorrow, and we're going to see if he practiced at all. You know me, I've drawn up chord sheets for every song. I'm even doing the covers. There's chord sheets for him, so I'm hoping he's at least taking a look at them while we're apart. But if he's not, it's no big deal. Those chord sheets, they're just there, being ignored. No, I don't care. He's a good guitarist, and he knows what he's doing. He's interested in backing vocals, so I'm interested in him. Interested in taking him a long way. I don't know what we're going to do in terms of other musicians. My plan right now is to just go hit open mics with him. I've been doing open mics alone. I've done 4 this year, which isn't really a lot, but, more than I did the previous year. So, but yeah, I did 4 this year, and I'm about to start doing them with him. I don't know when, though. I doubt this Friday. Maybe next Friday. Maybe we can put together a 3-song set for next Friday, because that'd be really cool. I'd really like to get him out with me because, I've been playing with guitar and harmonica, but I'm no harmonica player. So it's very simple, more of just sets the tone. And I'll continue with the harmonica in our sets, but Zach is really going to be the one to get more melodic with it and sort of carry the songs musically in that sense. So the harmonica is just a layer and not the actual melodic source, if that makes sense. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Basically, I'm jamming with a guy. We're going to start doing open mics and see where that goes. My plan for that is hopefully a few musicians see us, like us. There's a guy who plays lap steel at one of the open mics I go to, and I think that'd be really cool to see if he ever wanted to get in on it. This is a totally different way I'm approaching starting a band. I think I've just been jaded and I've matured, to say the least. Or to put it simply, I've matured. I'm not looking for the same things I was looking for in a band before. I'm not looking at this as my avenue of success. I'm looking at this as my avenue of exhaust, as my avenue of passion. I don't know, just letting things out. And it appears Zach's on that same page, on that same wavelength, and hopefully we can just continue to find musicians like that, and one day just have a full band that pops up around Orlando, pops up around wherever, and play shows. Like that's just what I want to do. I don't want it to be complicated. I don't want it to be time consuming. A social media post here and there. I just want to keep it really simple. I'm done with the hustle and bustle of it all, and that's really what I did in the Wasp. And in the Wasp, I was ready to hustle, and I think it sucks when you are so ready to hustle. You have all this drive and readiness, but the people around you just, not that they aren't on that same wavelength, they're just not cooperating sometimes. Between our drummer moving away and the Wasp and our bassist flaking on us, like, it took the wind out of my sails. I was pretty upset. I had so much planned, and I think that's part of why the bassist flaked on us, is because he saw me going in directions maybe he wasn't interested in. I was like, we need to start a podcast. We need to start twitching, playing video games on twitching, things like that to get engaged with the people and get them to come out to our shows. But I just don't think they were interested in that, and I don't think they they didn't like what that was, if I had to guess. But tough. I mean, now the Wasp isn't even a thing anymore, so I should have just done it. I should have just went with it and said, fuck it. This is what I'm going to do. But that's what I'm doing now. And it's time for the big name reveal. At 15 and a half minutes in, the new project, my new moniker is TimBucToo. TimBucToo. Comes from my high school and college friends calling me Buck, just between the Texas Association and everything. And my current girlfriend would call me Tim, because, I don't know, lots of reasons, I'm sure. But I started saying, I go by Tim and I go by Buck too, TimBucToo. So, whatever floats your boat, but TimBucToo, TimBucToo. Not to be confused with TimBuc3, not to be confused with the country. It's just TimBucToo, which is also a county or a city in California. I don't know. But it's not a band, so it's mine. I need to get some music out under that name before people start seeing that there's nothing under TimBucToo and say, hey, that's a pretty good name. I'm going to take that. No, you're not. Problem is I don't have any music to release. I do, but it's sort of, wishy-washy. I have, like I said, a good amount of songs. We could easily have a 7-song set. Right now, I took some Wasp songs that we just never released. Vote For Me is now going to be a TimBucToo song, of course. I think that was really the only one. I was thinking about redoing Eye to Eye again, but I don't know if that would... I don't know. I have a lot of songs already. I have this one called Alone in Kentucky, which is a pretty good one. I got a pretty good one. I'm talking about my own fucking songs. Alone in Kentucky, Voodoo Man, and Gossip About still in the running as well with Vote For Me. I play those the most, probably Gossip About and Voodoo Man, and I've sort of redone them to fit acoustic with a harmonica. So they both have harmonica parts, they're both acoustic, and I've played them both at open mics, and they land really well. So those are staples. I imagine those would be the two originals Zach and I would do, and we'd throw in a cover, more than likely Streets of Bakersfield. My covers have been a lot of that. Streets of Bakersfield, Act Naturally, of course, Buck Owens. But also staples like All on the Watchtower. I want to do Mama Tried by Merle Haggard at some point, and I'd like to do a good Tom T. Hall song. I'm thinking either Fox on the Run or I think it was just Fox on the Run, being honest. I like the Ballad of $40. I think that's a good song, but I don't know if I'd do it justice, so... And I really like Fox on the Run, so I'm going to do it. But, yeah, we got those going. Again, Alone in Kentucky is a new one. Gosh, I have a couple new ones. Let's pull out the notebook. I wrote a song for Vanessa, of course. Gotta write a song for Vanessa. That's right now just called Vanessa. So, shocker. Let's see. And then I have a song I wrote. Let's see. I originally wrote it in November or December of 2020. And then last month I found it in one of my old notebooks and rewrote parts of it to just kind of flow a little better. And it actually came together really well. It's called A Place to Call Home. So we got that. Alone in Kentucky. And then, I mean, really, there's Umatilla, which I hardly touch on anymore. Just because I got tired of it. I don't know where my other notebook is. Oh, it's over there. Whatever. I don't know. Umatilla, I like all the parts it has, but I just don't think it's executable in my current state. I think I need to jam it a little more, maybe see what Zach has to say. That's the thing I love about writing with other people is like I'll get stuck on a song. I'll have a fully complete song. Like this song is I could record it right now and put it out. But it's not going to flow. I don't have any transitions made. It's going to sound, well, really my main concern is the singing. And some of the lyrics. Some of the lyrics need to be updated or changed, but I made it a little difficult for me to sing, and kind of fucked myself on that. But at a different place and time, we'll reevaluate it. I have another song for Vanessa now. She likes it a lot more. I like it a lot more. It's more complete. Still not complete, but it's more complete, and we'll keep on that one. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, when it comes to TimBucToo updates, that's pretty much the gist of it. That's pretty much what's going on right now. I'm hoping that I can just balance this in a way that's like, I don't know, keeping it fun. Like I don't want it to fall off. I want to keep up with it, but I also don't want it to rule my life like the Wasp did, or even like Harbor Drive and the Karmics did. But yeah, outside of that, I'm going to transition into what I've been listening to. I don't know much about me. I don't know shit about music, but I'll tell you anyways. Like I said, it's been a lot of Western outlaw sort of music. So if we pull up my most recent playlist here, I mean, I've got, Johnny Cash, Buck Owens, Jerry Reed, Win Stewart. It's got the song Another Day, Another Dollar, and I really like it. It's very simple. That is also another song I might cover. Pretty good at covering Are You Sure Hank Done It This Way, but I just don't like that it's 2 chords. It's boring. I feel like I fall out of time with it a lot. It's hard. It's hard when it's just 2 chords because it's not only is it just 2 chords, there's no strumming pattern. It's just A and D, and it's A, D, 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 A, and it's like, okay. So singing with that is a little tricky. Tom T. Hall, of course, Statler Brothers, Eddie Nowak. That Beer Drinking Blues song is a good song. That's another one I'd like to put down as a cover. I gotta chord that one out though. It's not really available anywhere. How many songs are in this playlist? 123 songs. John Prine, of course. Willie Nelson, Dolly Parton. Not just guys out here. Not just guys. I also like Tanya Tucker. She sings If I Die, I May Not Go to Heaven. And Loretta Lynn with Conway Twitty. Conway Twitty, I'm going to say it. Not a very good singer. I've been listening to him a lot. There's the Family Guy gifs. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty. And I think some of his songs are kind of funny, kind of catchy. Like there's You're the Reason Our Kids Are Ugly with Loretta Lynn, and Louisiana Woman, Mississippi Man. But here we go. Is it because of Conway Twitty, or is this a Loretta Lynn thing? That's up to you. But yeah, I don't really like his voice. I'll say it. I think for the most part, I've either liked or come to like a lot of people, and I feel like the more I listen to Conway Twitty, the less I like his singing and his voice. But whatever. Whatever. He's dead. And nobody cares what I think. But moving right along into my liked songs, I listened to some Journey the other day. It just had been a while, and the song Open Arms is just honestly the whole Escape album. And I'm about to say something pretty controversial. Don't Stop Believing sucks. I don't think it's a good song. It has over 1 billion plays on Spotify. But here's the thing. When you listen to the rest of Escape, Who's Crying Now? Oh my God. And Open Arms. I mean, the album on its own is already a pretty ball-busting album. I mean, with Escape and Still They Ride. But Open Arms and Who's Crying Now? Delicious songs. Could always do with Don't Stop Believing. Don't Stop Believing is Journey's We Will Rock You or Bohemian Rhapsody. Not even Bohemian Rhapsody. So I think Bohemian Rhapsody is a pretty good song. Just overplayed. It's probably their We Will Rock You, I'd say. Or We Are the Champions. The Highwaymen, always good. Trying to find. Oh, so I wanted to get into some newer, I've been listening to a lot of this country and older outlaw music, and I wanted to get into some newer outlaw music, because country these days, man, is garbage. It is so fucking bad. And there's a lot of theories as to why country music went bad. And one of the most prevailing theories I see on the internet is 9/11. 9/11 ruined country music. And personally, I think country music was ruined before 9/11, but people say the lyrics of country music were ruined after 9/11 because it went from outlaw country music, the sort of I shot a sheriff coming down the line and I ran to Mexico or some shit like that. And now it's like, well, if you even look at the red, white, and blue the wrong way, I'll fuck your sister. And it's like, what? I don't know. I could see where they're coming from, but I think the lyrics were already going that way in general. I mean, country music has always been an American thing and a very American, patriotic, and even the Canadian. I mean, country is huge in Canada. So, I don't think it was 9/11. I think honestly it was just the times, a sign of the times. The times are changing, whatever you want to say. Country music panicked in the 90s every genre panicked in the 90s. When grunge came on the scene, for some reason they thought this was never going to leave. I mean, grunge is rock's disco. Let's be honest. Disco did to pop what grunge did to rock. And I liked a lot of disco music, and I liked a lot of grunge music, but it diluted what rock music was down to this Seattle, rainy, I'm going to stare at my shoes and scream into this microphone about, and, you can blame Nirvana, you can blame whoever you want. It was going to happen. There were 1,000,001 fucking bands coming out at that exact time doing similar things. Nirvana might have been the earliest, but I mean, Guns N' Roses was approaching grunge in some of their songs, and chastise me all you want. A lot of these bands were approaching grunge. Motley Crue did it. Aerosmith did it. But they weren't grunge. I'm not saying that. Obviously Nirvana was grunge. Stone Temple Pilots was grunge. Alice in Chains was grunge. And all these bands I love. Nirvana, whatever. But Stone Temple Pilots and Alice in Chains and even Pearl Jam, man. I mean, these things were coming no matter what. But I do think it left a mark on rock music that we haven't we're only now getting past. Completely. For 10 years through the 2000s up to 2015, even halfway through the 2010s, we're in this rock era of bands like Breaking Benjamin, Linkin Park, Three Doors Down, Seether. Who else am I trying to think of? I'm sure there's 1,000,001 other ones. But all these bands did was take what the grunge bands did in the 90s and run it through Pro Tools. Am I saying some controversial shit? Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. It just polished whatever they had in the 90s, and they nailed it down to a science to where every song did start to sound the same. Regardless of the band, they had the same gravelly ass vocals with heavily distorted guitars. Oh, you're down a half step, daring today, aren't we? That sort of thing. And it's like, you can only do that so much. And call me a fucking hypocrite as I try to go back and continue outlaw country music or whatever. But I don't know, that's neither here nor there. just my thoughts on the situation with rock music that we're only now getting past. So back to what I was saying with country music, it all kind of scrambled when grunge hit, and then again when today with rap being so big. I mean, I'm just gonna throw him under the bus. Jason Aldean fucking sucks. Anybody that combines first of all, anybody that seriously uses the term hick hop can ride a horse with a splintered stick up their ass. I think that is the dumbest shit ever. Hick hop. I mean, what are you, fucking Kid Rock? There we go. There's a link from grunge to country right there. I mean, Kid Rock was doing that shit. You want to throw somebody's name under the bus? Fuck Kid Rock. God. I used to like his music when I was a teenager. Especially Ball What a Doll Ball. I mean, shit, that song was hype. Or Devil Without a Cause. He had some hype-ass tunes. And then he just started going a weird way. And he's got a good voice. But, I don't know. And I'm not going to touch on his politics. I'm not going to touch on the extracurriculars outside of his music career. I'm only talking on his music career, and I think he started strong and fell off very fast. But what can you do? So I wanted to find some songs that had that outlaw country feel, but lacked the Kid Rock, Jason Aldean updates. And I actually found some pretty good artists. There's this woman by the name of Sierra Farrell. She has she's a good amount on Spotify, actually. But I found the song called Jeremiah. Very big fan. And then there is Dale Hollow and the Long Con, two acts. They have a song together called Fools Rush In. It's a good song. Shannon and the Clams have a song called The Boy. And one person I wanted to talk about, saving it for last, is a guy by the name of Orville Peck. This guy, I'm sure some people have heard. I mean, he has over 1 million plays. So Cactus Blossoms, also going to throw them out there. They are really good. Cactus Blossoms. But talking on Orville Peck, here's his Spotify bio. Combining the lulling ambience of shoegaze with the iconic melodies and vocal prowess of classic American outlaw country music, Orville Peck croons about love and loss from the Badlands of North America. The resulting sound takes the listener down dusty, rose-colored desert highways through a world where worn-out gamblers, road dongs, and lovesick hustlers drift in and out of his masked gaze. Masked gaze. The man wears this weird rodeo... I don't know. He wears a cowboy hat constantly. And he's got this mask that covers, from his nose up and leaves little holes for his eyes. And then there's all this fringe that hangs down from the bottom of the mask that goes, down to his chest or whatever. And that's what he's like the bucket head of country music. I don't know if you could find a picture of him without it. But yeah, I don't know. Weird dude. He's got a couple of these masks. He's got some good songs, and there's some good people like him. People in this area that are making some really good music. So, bottom line, if you like that older music and you're looking for the update, sans Kid Rock, sans Jason Aldean, sans Blake Shelton, sans any of these modern day country artists, I recommend any of those artists. Orville Peck, Shannon and the Clams, Cactus Blossoms, Dan Hollow, Sierra Farrell. Those guys are very good. They have my seal of approval. And I hope they hear this. And I hope they think, wow, we have his seal of approval. The man who does not know shit about music. We have a seal of approval. You do. And I'm happy for you. Oh, gosh. let's see. That's all I really had for the music aspect. I mean, one quick shout out to a guy named Tommy Cash, Johnny Cash's brother, I believe. He's got a song called Six White Horses. I really like it. It's an older song, of course, but I think there's a lot of music out there. There is. And there's a lot of shitty music. There's a lot of garbage music out there. And it keeps coming and it won't stop coming. And I'm sure somebody has heard one of my songs and said, this belongs in the shitty music category. That's fine. Some of my songs do belong in the shitty music category. But the point is, if you're one of those grumps, and I feel like this is something I talk about in a lot of episodes, although it's been a year since the last time I recorded one. If you're one of those grumpy grumps who insists that, there's no more good music these days, or that you've heard it all, you haven't. You have not, and there continues to be good music put out. Call me say I'm still wet behind the ears or whatever. I mean, I don't feel it. But there's good music coming out, and I recommend everybody just keep their mind open to those sorts of things, because you never know when you find your new favorite song. You never know when you find a song that now you're going to obsess over for the next week. Excuse me, it's tea break. But, keep an open mind, I think, is the most important advice you could give anybody on any topic. Is at the end of the day, if you have an open mind about something, you are going to not only be more willing and open to do certain things, but you're going to find yourself thinking thought processes of how you can make things like this better. Things you, for example, say you are exposed to something with an open mind, and we'll say you're exposed to something and you have a closed mind and you already hate it. You're not going to think much about it. You're not going to think, how can I make this better? How can I make this better for myself? Most importantly. But if you approach something with an open mind, something you don't want to do, something that already just feels weird, but you got that open mind, you're going to find ways around it. You're going to find ways to like it, maybe not like it, find ways to deal with it. In this sense, applying that to music, you will find yourself finding new music. I guarantee it. It's just keeping that the mind open, the ear open, really just following your heart in music too. I mean, if you find a song you like, and that's something I love about Spotify, is you just right click and you go to song radio, and now you got a full playlist. Like, I just did one song and it gave me 50 songs that are like it. So, I don't know. I might be preaching. I might be spewing some bullshit. I'm just trying to create a more friendly environment for music and music listeners, because it fucking sucks out here. And I want people to be nicer to us, damn it. We're giving you free products. You don't need to fucking pay for music. I mean, you don't. You can use Spotify for free. You can use YouTube for free. You can use Apple Music for free. You can go listen to a radio, even though, I mean, that's a whole nother episode. I'm trying to wrap up here. I'm trying to keep them a little shorter now, maybe 30 to 45 minutes. But regardless, just keep that open mind and continue listening. I'm just going to keep repeating myself if I don't wrap it up now. But thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoy the refreshed version of I Don't Know Shit About Music, including some music beds in there, some intro music, maybe a little outro music too. But it's good to be back. I love talking. I love hearing myself talk. Love hearing myself through these headphones, giving myself ASMR or whatever the fuck. I don't know. Have a great week, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday.